You are now tuned in to the War Party Paranormal Radio Show, where we will be discussing actual audio and visual clips captured during the team's investigations. Hear firsthand eyewitness accounts from fellow team members and special guests. Now smash that like, subscribe, and follow button, and let's get ready to welcome team leader and your host, Eric Vanderlaan, and tech specialist and co-host, Mike Del Coro.
Happy Monday, everybody. Starting off the week right with a little War Party Paranormal Radio Show, right, Mike?
That's right.
Ending off the day with a little fun. So yeah, I'm Eric. I'm your host of the War Party Paranormal Radio Show and the team leader for War Party Paranormal Research. And right over there.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. My name is Mike Del Coro, tech specialist and investigator with War Party Paranormal and the Haunted Files on Paraflix. So we got an awesome show for you guys tonight, and I'm going to let Eric tell you what we're getting into.
Well, we got another great guest for you. We have Mallory Cywinski. She's a paranormal investigator and an author of a few books, and we got her on the show. And I'm not going to waste any time. And I put together a little intro. I hope I did a good job. So here we go. You ready?
I'm ready.
What do you think? Did I do a good job?
Very good.
All
awesome.
right, thank you.
That's cool.
I got to be pleasing everybody, especially our guests. Got to keep them happy.
That's right.
So yeah, we have Mallory Cywinski of Coffee Books and Ghost. And hopefully I said her last name right, but let's not waste any time and bring her on. Hey, Mallory.
How do you do?
Hey, you did it. I'm just really surprised. I'm like, you got it exactly right.
Oh, okay. How'd you like the intro? Did I do okay?
I liked it. You did great. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, thank you for coming on our show.
Oh, I remember that. Oh, that was fun.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thanks for being here.
So you're also a paranormal investigator, and I know you've been to some very cool places. You're up by Philadelphia.
Yep.
So that's got to be like Spook Central right there in the U.S.
A lot of history.
A lot of old history. But how did you get into the paranormal, and then like what made you get into writing about it?
I've always been a writer. I've always felt really comfortable expressing myself, in writing, and I was always telling stories. And I mean, most recently, Amanda Woomer started the Feminine Macabre, and I had been writing blog posts and articles and smaller things like that. But that was really my first step in writing in the paranormal field. So that was fantastic. And then I would say about 2.5 years into really investigating, because I haven't been doing it that long. The paranormal has always been a part of my life, but I haven't been like seriously investigating that long. But I was realizing how much it was helping me because as a new mother, I really struggled with postpartum depression, and I was stuck at home And I didn't have much community because I had left my full-time job, to raise my babies. And between COVID and everything, I was just home, and I just didn't have that village, and I
Mhm.
wasn't really meeting anyone, you know, um, to help me through that. And then, so, this and that happened, and I really needed to get outside myself. And so I just started exploring everything I was interested in. And it was so helpful to do that. I
Okay.
exercised, I ran 5Ks, and I opened an Etsy storefront, and everything was it was nice and helpful. But when I embraced the paranormal and really dove into that, that was the missing piece for me. And
That's
that's
crazy people.
the crazy, but like, hello, like there's but like that weird, and like these crazy theories, and this whole other side to things that you can explore yourself.
Yeah, and it really gets your mind turning too, right? And
Yes, it was like,
there's
it was just being injected with like enthusiasm again.
Mhm.
And then I found the community to go with it, after some pitfalls here and there. We all go through that. But
Mhm.
I mean, that it made all the difference in the world. Um, and so, anyway, so I ended up just writing a book about it. And I kind of
Okay.
tell how my story, from as a kid, and always being kind of like a ghost nerd. I always liked ghost stuff, but it
Right.
literally didn't occur to me that I could do it
go
myself.
out there and experience it, right?
Yeah, until I went to a Paracon at Penhurst State School, which is like 10 minutes from my
On my
house.
bucket list.
Mm-hmm.
Come on up.
Uh,
It's really just don't go on a public hunt there, please. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
exactly. No, those are
yeah.
wild.
Yeah, we're gonna take you up on that offer. That's for
Yeah,
sure. We're gonna be close to your area, and we're going to White Hill Mansion.
yeah.
Have you been there before?
I have not been there.
We
It's
have
Mhm.
just,
not either, and we're super stoked to go. It looks super spooky,
are you guys,
and
you're hosting the full investigation after the Paracon, or are you just
we're
doing
gonna be doing both.
both? Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
busy.
We were talking like May is so crazy for Paracons. I just feel like they're picking up speed so much. Like everyone's having one, and everyone's going to all these different ones. Like, wait, I want to go to all of them.
Yeah,
I
like
know
after.
they're like really coming on strong, like
Yeah.
the
And they're
Paracons
so
lately.
fun. And like Paracons are always be special for me because that's how I found the paranormal, really. That's how I really
Mhm.
got started, was just I was in the audience, and Steve Gonzalez and Dave Tango were talking, and I was like,
Mhm.
oh my God, I could totally do this.
Yeah,
That's
no,
how
they're
I got
definitely
started,
great events.
watching Ghost Hunters.
What's that? I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry, Eric.
No, I'm saying that's how I got started into the paranormal. I was watching Ghost Hunters when it
Yeah, same.
came out.
Same.
I want to go on one of those things. I want to see if that's real because I was like very skeptical.
Hmm.
And here I am. It's pretty crazy, right?
Yeah. The visceral feeling of being there, it's just like there's nothing like it, because
Yeah, especially when things happen.
especially when things happen. And
Mhm.
it's funny because I think there's so much emphasis on evidence and sharing and getting content, and well, what did you get? I'm like, I got a
Yeah.
great experience. Like,
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
couldn't you like
like
put
I was
that
there.
emotion into your video? Like someone can sense what you're sensing, like on a real investigation, especially
Yeah.
when it's active there. It like a bit watching a video doesn't do it justice, or playing like an EVP, like, hey, this is what I got.
Hmm.
But in the moment, it's almost undescribable, and
Yeah.
It's a rush.
and for me, I've always enjoyed history as well, and it's just like really wows me to be in some of these places when you could think back of the history and all the different things that have gone on, at these locations,
Hmm.
and preserving these locations too. That's one of the things down here in Florida that we struggle with. Is soon as
Especially
something,
Miami.
yeah, as soon as something goes out of business or abandoned or whatever, they want to rip it down because the property is so valuable. They just want to build the next thing right on top of it. So it's
Yeah.
very
Mhm.
hard to keep a lot of the historical buildings around here.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what we do. We host events and stuff like that, local events where people come out and meet
Mhm.
us and go for a ghost hunt where we raise money for the historical societies and different things like that. So were you into history or anything like that before, or just more so now, or?
More so now. I joke because I took AP history in high school, and
Mhm.
nothing would stick. I would do fine on the exam, And then the next day it was like, boop, it was gone, but if you add a paranormal facet to it, I'm like hooked. And in the book, I go through kind of a brief history of each of these places. And it's like, and you get to be there. And like you said, Mike, where you get to go and you're really in those spaces and that visceral feeling. Like when you go to Fort Mifflin, they lift you're there by yourself with your friends at night. Like they lift the little line for you. You can go under and you can explore these areas that you don't even have access. So it's great to go there during the day, but then to go on a paranormal investigation, you get to really get into it and spend some serious time there.
Do you write about your investigations as well on the location and all that?
Yes. So the book, Making Friends with Ghosts, it kind of starts with a lot of my background. It's kind of a little autobiography, but not
That's
very
like
much.
our motto. It's sort of funny. Like that's the name. Like I'm sorry to interrupt real quick, but like a lot of locations we go to, like we've developed relationships because we've been there so many times. So like making friends with ghosts is like, that's like should be our motto. But
Yeah.
for interrupting, I just had to throw that in there.
Yeah, for sure. Well, if you go back to the same location, you cannot tell me that the activity is not exponential.
Yep.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like again, I'm going to keep doing this, but like in the book,
No,
Selma
do it.
Mansion.
Don't give up too much.
Well, in Selma Mansion in Norristown, I always call that building kind of like my classroom. It's like 20 minutes from here. It was one of my very first investigations, and every time I go back, I swear it feels like it remembers me and it shows me a little bit more, and I understand it a little better. I kind of joke how it's like I know when it's done with me for the night. It's like you can leave now. We're done with you, and we're gonna go quiet. And I'm like, I'm not offended. I'm like, fine.
And why do you say that?
Again, it's that visceral feeling, because as an investigator, when like something is afoot, you get that gut feeling, your hair standing on end. And if you do this long enough, I think your senses are just more attuned to something that gut
developing.
Feeling. Yeah. And which means I think you also notice when nothing is going on.
Oh yeah.
I've been in some of the creepiest looking rooms at Penhurst. And nothing is happening. The room is creepy as hell, but in that particular room, nothing's going on. So,
how many times have you been there?
We talk about that a lot, right? Like how going back to the same location over and over, and like I mentioned before, the fact that we hold events at some of these historical locations. Sometimes we'll do the same location, like 6-7 times a year, maybe more.
Yeah.
And it's almost like we build a relationship with the spirits there, or the ghosts, or whoever it may be there. It's like it's wild, like
when we went to Waverly, like that's like the ultimate place to go investigate. And like my goal was to compare it to some of these places that we frequented, and to compare and see like which one had more activity. Now we got a little bit of activity other than bats at Waverly, but
sorry,
I think if we would have gone there more times, we would have built up more activity. I think it's just like you got to like get them, like they were people, right? They got to get comfortable with you. So
we should queue up that bat video like all the time. We should have it like loaded.
Yeah, I had an experience with the bat. Everyone in the chat probably already knows it. Sick and tired of me talking about it.
That's why I
got scared by a bat. I thought it was a creeper.
It was so funny to me.
No, at Penhurst, same thing at Penhurst. The scariest thing that happened like other night was like the bat just came like right into our faces. We all screamed.
Yeah, I was like 2 stories above Eric, and I heard him. I thought a little girl or a cat was getting murdered.
Holy mother freaking! And I was like,
yeah, it was.
I don't know. I've never seen a bat like that move. And plus, it was dark. I was looking through my viewfinder, my camera, and IR, so I thought it was a shadow creeper. So after that, like my night was done. I saw what I wanted to see, and
the ghost bat.
I forgot everything I wanted to do. Everything went down the toilet.
Well, that's the other thing, right? Like here,
the
we
next
have like
day when I looked at the video
in Florida. Our bats are like this. They're like mice.
Yeah.
So those big football sized SOBs up there, Yeah, definitely creep you
Yeah,
out.
big bats. Yeah. Yeah.
um, yeah, no, so that's great. And when where can people get the book right now? Like if they wanted to get
Amazon.
it. Amazon? Okay.
Yep. So the book's on Amazon, it's on Kindle, and it's on paperback. And it's just, I feel like it's, when I wrote it, it was like I knew a lot of paranormal investigator friends would want it, but I also tried to write it in a way that was accessible for people outside the field.
Yeah, because we are a small niche, you know. So
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like for people who are interested in the paranormal, sometimes those of us who know the lingo, who know an egregore and a time slip, and you're pretty familiar with this stuff, you kind of use it. And I don't think we mean to be gatekeeping, but I think it can be overwhelming. And so I tried to write it in such a way that was palatable for the average reader.
Smart.
Yeah. Because I have a lot of friends. I have a lot of friends who will come out for like their first time on like a ghost hunt, and they'll be like, don't leave me alone. Whatever you do, like, do not leave me alone. I'm like, all right. And at the end of the night, they're like, that really wasn't as scary as I thought it would be. I'm like, yeah, it's not. Like, I think, because you're ingesting all of the paranormal shows, and he who shall not be named on the Travel Channel, and like,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
yeah.
And that's what a lot of people like. That's what we try to do, is to spread awareness, right? Like, and let people know it's not always a demon coming out of the floorboards, and it's not always
a lot of times
scary.
it's peaceful. It's like like you're getting like activity from people who spend the most happiest moments of their life there. So I think that's pretty cool. That's the most stuff that we get.
Yeah, I would say like a paranormal experience that really surprised me recently, again, was at Selma Mansion. And it's not a lot of people have heard of it, and that's okay with me. That's fine.
What's the history behind it?
So it was part of the parcel of land that makes up a really big town here now called Norristown, owned by a lot of big political families, like the governors, and then their sons were governors and their sons' sons, and and but for after, it was empty after the 80s, after the last of the family line passed away. And then the Historical Preservation Society took it over. And as they were cleaning it, they realized that maybe it wasn't as empty as they thought it was. And I keep telling this story just because I just still can't believe like what happened. But long story short, I became friends with the main paranormal liaison on the property. And he and I kind of kept in touch. He wasn't a close friend, but hey, yeah, Bluebell, that's right by me. But anyway, he ended up getting sick, and I had booked an investigation night with him. And by the time the investigation night came, he was gone. And it was really weird rolling up, to Selma for that investigation. And I was not going to use that for anything. But at the end of the night, you're kind of tired, and like I said, I was like, I'm feeling like it's done with me. I'm going to try like one more thing. And I wasn't recording anything, so I didn't feel real weird about it. I didn't feel like an ethical dilemma.
Right.
And I've changed his name whenever I talk about it, but I was just like, we had an SB7 rolling. We had our AMF tripwire kind of trailing out the bedroom. And I just randomly, I was going down the names and all the history, nothing. And I said, do you know Tim? And that EMF wire went like fireworks. And I still get goosebumps when I think about that. And then I'm like, okay. And then like maybe a few seconds later, I'm like, just so we're clear. I'm like, Tim, same thing. And then on the SB7, which we were just running, we didn't have headphones hooked up to it. And I heard, I know Tim. And it was so wild. And it was in kind of like a sad, kind of resigned voice. And it was almost like the spirit, like it wasn't my friend, but they knew exactly who I was talking about. They kind of knew what had happened, and they had an emotion about it. And I'll never forget that. And I wouldn't have taken that in if I hadn't investigated there before, if I'd known Tim myself. So I think there's something to be said for going to smaller locations, even though it's not, not flashy. And
How old is it?
oh my gosh, you put me on the spot, but I want to say it's like from the 1800s. It's in
Okay.
the book when it was fresher in my mind. Eric, it's in the book.
Well,
Yeah.
no, that's okay. You didn't get to give me a specific date, but the one thing I like about your area is there's a lot of old stuff there that date back to the Revolutionary War, and that's why I'm like looking forward to checking out like White Hill Mansion, and then Mike and I are going to look around and hit up some other places around Philadelphia.
For sure.
So
we should maybe check out that fort.
Yeah, Fort Mifflin. Yeah.
For sure. It's amazing. Like that fort, it's not behemoth, but it's so compartmentalized. There's like different areas, and each area has completely different vibes. And they're in the casemates. I feel like I'm going to get like a tattoo that says like Casemate 5 girl. Cause like I just can't stop talking about it. And every time I've gone into the casemates, which is like the old, prisons on site, and they have kind of the arched, ceiling, and it's just that there is something in there. I mean, that was where I heard my first disembodied voice. And this last time we were just there recently with our friends One Strange Amy and Ryan Fuldark and my old teammate. And when we went back, it was the same thing. We went, I was like, guys, we need to go straight there. I need to like go say hi the whole drive over. I'm like, I got to get back in that casemate. I got to get back in there. And we went in, there wasn't much. And then every time we'd go to leave and we're like, okay, let's go. And we heard boom, boom, just like, and it was like, someone's like, don't go, don't go, don't go. And
How many times have you been there?
I've only been there twice to investigate.
Okay.
And I mean, it's just both times I've left and been like, man, that place is something else. And Eric, if you like Ghost Hunters, we finally were allowed in casemate 11. I don't even remember that episode. I'm such like a Ghost Hunters nerd, but like where Grant saw that voice, or I'm sorry, where he saw that face pop up in the underground casemate that they just discovered. You have to watch it.
Yeah. I remember.
But like we got in there and I was like, oh my God, this is that casemate, and this is what happened. And I went down the little hallway, like shimmying down. You guys wouldn't fit.
And
down
how was
hallway.
it?
I don't know. Jason,
I'll have to send somebody down with the camera.
Yeah, but it was so cool, like to get in there and see that kind of stuff. I mean, who doesn't love Ghost Hunters?
Yeah, they're the best.
They're the best. I met Jason Hawes last year, and like I completely geeked out. And I told him, I'm like,
we had Daryl and Brandon Alvis on the show, and they're both awesome.
Yeah, you know what? I investigated with Daryl at Fort Mifflin.
No, he's a nice guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
So nice.
Rob Damaris used to be on our team. He was on Ghost Hunters International.
I knew that. I did know that.
And actually, we had the pleasure of investigating with Susan Slaughter.
Yeah,
last year at the Deering Estate, and she was on our show, and like the knowledge that she has, like she blew us away. Like we learned a lot from her.
Yeah.
But we got to investigate with her at the Deering Estate, and it's pretty cool because that's where it all started for her. And same thing with me. Like I was like a kid, I lived in that neighborhood and went to high school, just down the street.
Yeah.
In high school, we used to drink beer by the wall there. Didn't even know it was haunted over there, and there I am. So yeah, it's a very cool place. So yeah, like a lot of like, the way that they do their investigations is pretty much similar how we like focus our investigations as well.
Yeah.
So like we learned a lot from them.
Yeah, because our team was our founder Scotty, and I think Scotty's in the chat, and Zap, the main focus of the team was
they've been investigating for like
here we go
a couple hundred years.
he always got a buster truck.
But yeah,
back in my day.
Well, actually, Scotty, she's originally from Pennsylvania. So I think by Pittsburgh, near Pittsburgh, somewhere there.
That's like 6 hours away from me. It's like Pennsylvania is like separated in like east and west.
It's so wild to me because I was up there and I was talking to some friends, and one of them was like a construction worker, and he was telling me like all the time, like when they would demolish a building and have to like pour a new slab and they would be digging up and stuff, they would find stuff and they'd have to call the state. and they'd have to come out. Like he found like Quaker shoes, like wooden
Oh.
shoes, and like all this crazy stuff. And you have to call the state because they come in and take it, and then they preserve it and put it in the the museums and stuff.
Yeah.
But he said it was like all the time.
That's
They were
they used
finding
to put them in the walls, right? They put shoes in the walls.
Yeah, they would put them in the walls or under, in certain areas where they would just find them when they were doing demolition to the building.
Yeah.
I wouldn't tell anybody. I'd just keep it for myself as a trigger object. That would stir shit up.
Watching you. He's got all these shoes behind his
Exactly. Yeah. You don't even know. I'm not even show you. I'll get in trouble.
Yeah, I think
people know what's behind here.
Last time I was in the city, they actually found was it George Washington's the slab of his house? Like they never even knew it was there. They were doing street work right next to the Liberty Bell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was wild. There's stuff everywhere.
It is. Well, it's funny because sometimes I live right by Valley Forge National Park, and I'll just grab my SB7 and go for a stroll.
You need a metal detector,
right?
Yeah, right.
Who knows what you can find? Go find your trigger opposites, girl. But the weird, not the weird thing. A lot of people don't know, South Florida, downtown Miami is built over sacred, ancient Native American sites that date back to the days of Egypt. They built condos and skyscrapers over it.
Over all that stuff.
They were right by the Miami River. I guess they demolished a building and they were clearing it out, and they discovered that there was a village, a circular pattern, and they decided to turn it into a park. And then they found another one, so they made the contractors or whoever were building the skyrise or whatever made a deal with the city, and then what they did was they did build the building, but underneath in the basement part you can see the archaeological dig and have glass over it. So, but yeah, there's a lot of ancient Native American sites all over South Florida. We got mounds. There's mounds where people don't even know where mounds.
Yeah.
So
a lot of times, even in parks, just a park, and you'll see little hills and stuff over there. They're burial mounds.
That's wild.
Because they can't. Yeah, they're everywhere. It's wild.
So if you don't have your Paraflix already, you got to get it, because in March we're going to be coming out with a new show.
I saw. Look how excited you are.
So yeah, we're coming out with a new show.
I saw. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. And it's going to be on what we're talking about, Native American burial sites. And
way to work that in.
Yeah, it's actually a very good segue. I should actually play the little trailer right now because it's perfect.
Well, I'm not done yet.
Oh.
No, I'm not done yet.
Yelled at.
So yeah, no, what I wanted to tell you, Mallory, is that there's this cemetery that we go to, that we frequent and investigate. It's in the middle of nowhere in Florida, Ortona Cemetery. And right next to that cemetery, I always knew that there were Native American burial mounds. And we get crazy activity shadow figures. I mean, the last time we were there, I had an answer to the question that I was just talking out loud, and in the form of a disembodied voice, and we all heard it. And we captured it on video. So, damn it. Well, you're gonna have to watch it on Paraflix. But anyway, I'm done now, so I'm giving stuff away. But anyway, it dates back Mayan, almost Mayan age,
250 AD.
Yeah.
When the mounds date
so they
back
have a serpent mound. They had a half moon, but back in the early 1900s, they didn't know what it was, so they dug it up and used all that mound to make roads all over the area. So part of it was dug up, but that one corner where they dug it up is always active, and that's where I got the disembodied voice.
Awesome.
The disembodied voice was, I don't even want to talk about it. One,
you got to watch it. Yep,
it's insane.
You got to watch it. It's insane. But we do have
I want to watch it.
Well, we're going to tease you even more with the promo. You ready, Mike?
Yeah, we got to run a couple things for our sponsors also. So we'll play why it's fresh.
We got to pay the bills.
Yeah.
Clearly an old human skull and then some arm and leg bones.
Martin County Sheriff's deputies, though, did not disturb the site, quickly identifying it as a Native American burial site with the remains of at least 6 people. We've gotten EVPs of Native Americans speaking, because we think it's related to these mounds that date back
believe 2,500 years.
Spirits.
Just hearing a lot of stuff. All around me in these woods.
And I looked over and I just saw legs walking. And like a torso, there was half a torso there.
Check it out.
Yeah, please go check it out. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, and if you do check it out, make sure you leave a comment. Hopefully a good one. All right.
And then
We're not done yet.
Yeah, we gotta play a couple more little things, and then we'll be right back. So,
and actually, Mallory, you can be involved in this one.
Oh.
Yeah.
So listen closely.
Okay.
What's up, my paranormal peeps? I'm Eric Vanderlaan, and I'm the host of War Party Paranormal Radio, and also the team leader of War Party Paranormal Research. And we got an exciting announcement to let you guys know tonight, and it involves stuff like this, and my co-host is going to tell you all about it.
What's up, guys? I'm Mike Del Coro with War Party, obviously. We are a technical team, and we always have people ask us, where can we get equipment like this? Well, you can get it from the ghosthunterstore.com. We got a nice little sponsorship worked out with them. We're going to be doing some giveaways, so stay tuned. Very, very cool, and go check them out at the ghosthunterstore.com.
Peace.
I even think they have coffee mugs as well. Just an FYI.
And they're actually sponsoring the Paracon that we're going to at White Hill Mansion. So
Dave Giuliano.
Dave Giuliano is a demonologist, been doing it for 30 years, and he'll be there as well. He's also one of the guest speakers, and their team will also be doing the ghost hunt afterwards. So, and then right there on the bottom ticker, if you use the promo code Ghost Gone Wild on your checkout, you'll get a discount on anything that you purchase there. And we've been doing a giveaway as well. So if you enter, let's do this. If you enter the code word for this episode, let's make it. What do you want to make it, Eric?
Let's make it coffee, books, and ghosts.
There you go. So if you go ahead and comment that in the YouTube comments, you'll be entered in for a chance to win a promotion from the Ghost Hunter store.
And if you lose, you're still a winner because you'll get that 10%.
Exactly.
On wild.
There's no losers, only winners.
Yep. And don't put Girls Gone Wild. Ghosts Gone Wild.
Ghosts Gone Wild.
Exactly.
And last but not least,
what's up, my paranormal people? Eric and Mike here from the War Party Paranormal Radio Show, wanting you to remember the importance of hydration. Remember, we hunt ghosts. We don't want to turn into ghosts. Dehydration can lead to inflammation and even degenerative disease. So hydration is crucial.
Whether you're up all night investigating the paranormal, sky watching, or Bigfoot, Fuel Up Hydration System is designed to support motivation, concentration, and rejuvenation with the best immune-enhancing delivery system available today.
Experience the benefits of Fuel Up with their Feel the Difference money-back guarantee.
Visit fuelup.gg/warparty for their special offer that includes free shipping.
Fuel Up for life. Hey, Eric, how do we do?
It's awesome.
All right. Well, maybe we should stick to hunting ghosts. I don't know if commercials is our thing.
True that.
True that.
By the way,
all right, that's it. So we're good. We're done now.
We're done. Erica wants to know who's under the sheet.
Oh, that was Eric.
Not me.
Sure.
No, that wasn't me. That was Mike.
Was it good? What do you mean?
Surprise.
What sheet?
Oh, the ghost in the video.
No, I'm kidding.
That
Now
was a real ghost. That was
a real
neither
ghost.
of us.
All right. So now let's get back on track here.
Yeah. Enough with the commercials.
Um,
Actually, on Paraflix, there's no commercials. Just had to throw that in there. Commercial free.
Fun fact.
Fun facts.
Continue, Mike.
Me? All right. So we talked about how you got into the field, and we talked about some of the stuff in your book. What are your other like some of your other favorite locations, or how about this? Let's change it up. What's some bucket list locations that you have
Oh my God,
that
so
you
many.
want to get to?
So many, and like the list gets frustratingly longer every day.
I hear that.
Oh my God. Like, I definitely want to hit the Omni Mount Washington Resort. I've just got to go there. I've got to see the princess bed. I have to see it.
It's calling you.
It's calling me.
Yep.
And I just, like for some reason, I feel like I always really have crazy experiences in haunted hotels.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that's just because you get to that point of like vulnerability in the night. But I've always had a wild time there. I've always had a wild time in hotels. I also want to hit up Brushy Mountain Penitentiary.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I just think I think that it's so big, and I think it's so incredible, and not a lot of people hit it because it's kind of out of the way. You can't really lump a whole bunch of things in together with it. And I've got to get to the Stanley because I love The Shining so much that I just have to experience
I
it.
heard somebody who was it recently that we had on the show that was
Actually, we had Prism, Colorado. They're out in that area, and I believe they were saying that they thought The Shining was like a little bit overplayed, but they did say that it's kind of hard to investigate it because there's people around, and I guess they're not like they don't want you like scaring the people. I don't know.
I don't care. I have to go there anyway. It's one of those
like
things.
Try to get the room that's the most haunted and do your thing in the room.
Yeah, and
I would sneak around. That's what I would do.
And people can go and have nothing because if they don't connect, if they're just not on the right wavelength with that particular location, because I do think that matters. You can't let someone else tell you what's haunted and what isn't.
Exactly.
Everyone's experiences will be different. And I could go somewhere. And so I went to Gettysburg and we're on the battlefield. And my experience was completely different than my teammate, And even though we experienced it different ways, I still believe her. But I just think that locations just speak differently.
Yeah, for sure. Because, I mean, there's a place that we investigate frequently, and actually April 20. No, wait, I don't know when the next day is.
20.
But no, I'm talking about Yashir Village, the Riddle House.
I
knew it. I knew it's very expensive to like rent it for the whole night. I believe it's like close to $3,000. But I know a team that did it, and I don't know if they were upset because they paid so much money. But they did a video and they claimed that it's not haunted. But what's crazy is that we'll do like a 2-hour event and we'll definitely get something out of that 2 hours. It's so active. And actually it's like whatever's there like plays because we get like small groups of people in there and it plays to them. So it's pretty cool.
And I think the reverse is true is you can't
like
it's also it also depends on the type of people, the person. Like we'll do like small groups and rotate them in different buildings when we do our events. And we'll get one group of people where they're just vibing right with whatever's energy is in that building. And we're just getting crazy stuff. And then they'll leave and another group come in and absolutely nothing happens. Like they're not vibing with this group. I see it all the time. Yeah. I'm going to write it in my studies if I ever start that.
Write it down. No, don't say that. Write these things. I don't know why I'm just jumping ideas here, but I have found recently that when you're saying well, this group was getting one thing and then there was nothing in the next group. I'm wondering what exhausts a spirit on an investigation, because I have found we'll get crazy, especially the tripwire. I don't know if it just takes so much for them to put on that light show and to communicate that way. But then I feel if there's a crazy light show, I'm already going oh man, this is going to kill it for the night.
Sometimes I think it's how people are tuned in.
Oh yeah.
And maybe like how sensitive they are, because if they feel that they can communicate with you, then they'll do it. But if they feel like, because I'm not tuned into anything, like maybe more my intuition, I'll get pulled like a certain area and things start happening. But other than that, that's all I have. But I just feel that that's how they play to it. Like it's less energy to speak to someone that's more open than someone that's more closed. And they're not gonna like put that much force to like try to communicate.
Remember when we were in the Veely house and we had like a group, and and there was like a young teenage girl, and she was kind of like spastic. She was like crazy, like, you know, like running like all very, very hyper.
I thought that was in the Walsh
house, yeah. And everything just died. Like, and then after that group left, and
no, but the spirit box went crazy. Remember all the crazy responses we got? Like I was pointing at the K2 and it wasn't lighting up, it was just on the green color. And I go, what color is that device showing? And it says green.
Oh wow.
I'm just getting like wild stuff.
I forgot that.
Like that, yeah. But she wasn't there. Like she came later, and that's when things got like really weird. But like the boys, they're like teenage boys, and they're like trying to be goofballs and like. So I thought it was silly and all that. And then they were like hearing the responses and they're like, oh, shit. I got them real quick.
This is an actual thing now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think the group that you're with makes all the difference in the world. There's a location, and I won't name it. It's near here. And I love the location so much. But there's a home team. And I swear I've tried to investigate it 3 times now, and they just magically show up every time. And it just, I don't know if it's just that kills me because I don't like that. Because it's the kind of team where it's like, well, they know me. The spirit knows me. So if you ask a question, I'll let them. And I'm like, no, what are you talking about? Like,
let me do my thing.
I booked this. I will try to like connect. I don't require your presence. And I think that if it's just, I can't tell if it's just the location or if it's how the people who are the living people who are with me at the time feel, and I shut down.
Yeah, like for me, like if you came to one of our locations, I would like want to be quiet and see how they would react to someone new, you know?
Yeah, well, because you're looking for actual research and you're actually interested in what the spirit has to say, not what you think that they, you know.
Yeah, we've done that too. Like where we've been hosting an event and we've had people come in and they start getting responses from EVPs better than anybody else. And we'll just have that person start doing EVPs. We'll back up and say, listen, they're communicating with you. Have at it, you know, and let them go with it. But yeah, no, it's definitely weird how, like, you know, there's a lot of factors I think to play into it too. I always mention this. I think weather has some factors into it too. It's like, you know, I say this a lot too, that it's kind of like fishing, you know.
Come down when we have a tropical depression.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy, right? And we were like running around, like throwing tarps over all our gear. We were like actually at a location, and a feeder band from a hurricane started coming through.
Well, it wasn't a hurricane. It was like
tropical, disturbance, almost a hurricane.
But enough to where we were like in an open hangar where there's these rail cars, and like the rain and wind was like going sideways inside like the hangar, but. Yeah, it was like the craziest night we ever had there. It was crazy.
So do you think it was like a water energy situation, or do you literally think it was like your panic was kind of like...
No, a little bit of everything. It could be water, because water, they say, can fuel paranormal activity, and also barometric pressure and humidity.
But do you think like your panic to protect your equipment and kind of the chaotic...
Well, that's what it was when the first time that happened.
Yeah, but I think I was under that, like that fuels it too. You know,
it could definitely.
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
they kind of feed off your energy, and if you feel panicked, and you're putting out a lot of that energy out into the world, you know.
But it definitely wasn't that, because that was just a moment that feeder band came in, and we were there from like sunrise.
We were doing an overnight,
sunset to sunrise. So it was just.
It was really like
the night went by it seemed like it went by in 10 minutes.
A legitimate lockdown. Like they actually had to lock the gates and everything, because when they would leave, they had the COVID tent set up just on the other side. So when they would leave, they would lock the gate. So we were like locked into this whole facility until the next day. But yeah, no, it was, I think it had to do with barometric pressure and weather and different things because, you know, it holds a charge, right? Like lightning and, you know, when you get a low barometric pressure, you start to get a lot of lightning and energy in the air and the atmosphere. So yeah, I mean, I wish I could prove it, but I would like to start writing down some more of that kind of stuff.
Go get your EDI.
Yeah, the EDI out and have it record and kind of see what, you know.
Yeah.
How it goes.
Well, those are the most interesting stories when someone's like telling me, because anytime anyone hears you're a paranormal investigator, you're going to get their best story, right? Even if it's like this. And I'm like, okay, you know, you listen to them. And sometimes like the best ones are when they're like, oh, this weird thing happened. I had a really bad day, or like I got this really bad news, or I felt really tired, and then something happened. It's so like I like the stories where there's like, here's where the energy came from, and then here's what they did with it.
Yeah, that's a good point of view.
Like I always think that's interesting, and especially from other investigators who know to look for that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But then
I think its emotions play into that.
Yeah, for sure. I just think that feeds into it so much. I wish they would just tell us, like,
right?
What do you need to like fuel your activity, and like why do some people experience things that other people don't? Like my night at the Shanley, you know, and I think everyone who was with me at the Shanley that night, like the ghoul guide Courtney, she's like, we get it, the Shanley like was an amazing experience for you. I saw a full body apparition, you know, I had an amazing SD session. I heard footsteps in the middle of the night, something lean over me, but like no one else had anything. And I'm not making it up. And it's like, why? And I'm not saying why me, like poor me, because I value that night so much, but I wonder.
Because you probably you probably go into it with more of an open mind. Like if I put it like in an example, when I first got in, like I told you, I first got into ghost hunting, paranormal investigations because of ghost hunters, because I was skeptical. I wanted to see what it was like. So like before I was with the War Party, I was with another team, and I was just more focused on trying to get equipment, trying to figure out where I'm going to set things up.
Yeah.
Always worried about like I want to get evidence, and nothing ever happened. But until I came to War Party, we have a very eclectic group of people, a lot of people with open minds that are sensitive, Reiki masters, you name it, Wiccans, we have a pastor, but they taught me to open my mind. And like, I think like if you like try to get more absorbed into the investigation and the location and try to feel the vibe, maybe like walk around alone by yourself, maybe meditate, things start happening. Like, I guess it just depends on the person.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I ask, because at the Shanley, where were most of your experiences? Because I spent some time there and I had some experiences myself, and I was just kind of wondering where.
So I slept in the Rose Room.
That's where I was. That's the one with the bathroom, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I was in the little single bed.
Yep.
Facing the wall, and in the middle of the night, I heard footsteps. You know what that room sounds like? Those creaky wooden floors. Like there were footsteps coming toward me, and I felt something lean over the bed. And I don't know, you know, if it's a clear sense that I was developing or I am developing or whatever. I'm not someone who says, oh, I'm psychic and this and that, but something in my gut knew that it knew I was awake and I wasn't opening my eyes, and it found it like funny. It was like, no, I wasn't like malicious. It was just kind of like, I know you're awake and I know that you're purposely not like acknowledging me. And I wasn't. I was like, I'm sleeping. Like I'm done. Like I'm not turning around. And then I saw my very first and only full body apparition down that hallway, standing in the great room, looking down the hallway toward the gentleman's club, past the bordello door, and it came out of the mirror scrying room and went straight across the hallway. And I was after that thing like a shot, and there was nothing.
That's funny that you say that, because earlier before we were on air, we were kind of BSing, and I did a solo session upstairs, and Joe one of our other teammates did one in the bordello, and he had shut that door right where you saw the entrance to the bordello.
Mhm.
He was doing an EVP session. He didn't have a camera facing the door, but during the EVP session, you could see he had a camera facing himself, and on the camera and on the recorder, you can hear the door open. The bordello door opened by itself. And I was all excited because I took Eric's game cam that he had and put it down there facing the door from the gentleman's club, like facing at that bordello door.
Yeah.
Sure enough, I grabbed the at the end of the night, I grabbed the game cam. It was hot, and all the batteries were dead, and the SD card was fried and had an error on it. So I was super bummed. But yeah, we right in that same area was where we got that. But yeah, that place is awesome for sure.
It's crazy. And like I remember driving to it, and everyone was like, "This place is wild," you know. And I'm like, "All right, well, I will see how I feel about it," you know, because I've been to places where people are like, "It's insane," and like gotten nothing. So I really tried to go in skeptical, and like that place blew my freaking mind. That's not even to say the SD session hit that I had upstairs in the bordello, and I heard a little. I don't know if it was a girl or a boy. You can call it Rosie if you want. You know, the 3-year-old who died on the property. I'm not going to attribute that narrative to it. I heard a child's voice in the middle over, the frequencies. I heard, "I can't, mommy," and I have it on video. We were live streaming on Instagram.
Oh wow, that's cool.
And I just was like, do I want to hear more? Do I not want to hear more? And I'll never forget it. And this I was exhausted. I like 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, I have to go to. I am like fried, and I don't know if I was the battery again. Like I don't know.
You probably were.
I was.
That's why you were drained.
I was drained, and that's I joke because I'm like, oh, I'm just lame, and I'm a mom, and I need to go to bed. But like seriously, that night, I'll never forget it for as long as I live.
Well, we got one more commercial thingy to do, right, Mike?
We do?
Yeah, we do. We're at that point in the stage of the show.
It's not a commercial. It's a statement.
Nah, it's more like a compliant thing.
Yeah.
We're not in banking. I used to be in banking. Yeah, go ahead, because I think you're better at it.
Oh, okay. Thanks. All right, guys. For everybody that's listening on the KGRA digital broadcasting sides of things.
Plus, I do it all the time.
We're going to be going ahead and moving on over to the next show for you guys here just shortly. If you want to stick around and you want to watch us, you can come on over to our YouTube, War Party Paranormal YouTube channel. Now, KGRA is also streaming on Rumble. And there's a lot of great shows on KGRA for cryptics,
there is.
Bigfoot, all kinds of different paranormal
UFOs,
stuff. So we're not definitely. So you want to check them out. And
Bishop Long.
Big shout out to KGRA for hosting our show, and we appreciate them, and we appreciate all our listeners and watchers, viewers.
Incredible. Oh, you're not done?
No,
Sorry.
That's it.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Now we're home free. You can even curse if you want to.
Soon. So yeah, no, for sure. And I love the Shanley. I actually put a video out on my YouTube there about that whole night. I filmed it, and I actually have that clip of the door opening in there. It's pretty wild. So do you have any upcoming events or things or anything coming up that you want to tell the folks about?
Yeah, well, my book is available on Amazon, so that's not going anywhere. Making Friends with Ghosts. I have some investigations planned, so there'll be content from that, but those are private. Those are with a bunch of Instagram people. Everyone will recognize, kind of my usual crew, plus a few others. Tons of Paracons. I'm not vending anything. I might vend one at Selma in May, and if I'm vending that one, I will not see you guys at Whitehill. If I'm not, I'll see you at
There's a possibility, and if there is, you'll be doing the Delco. You'll be doing the Delco experiment, right?
Yeah, we got to do it.
Awesome. I'm not afraid.
So, also for some of the other viewers and listeners, where can people follow you if they want to check out your content and they want to see what's going on? Where can they get a hold of you?
I'm everywhere on Coffee, Books, and Ghosts. because my last name is hard to spell. Mallory Cywinski. I'm on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, but mostly I am on Instagram. That's my main home. I update there just about every day. So.
Awesome. Very cool. So, Eric?
Well, you can find my stuff, Ghost Hunter of South Florida, if you can see that. On IG, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and more importantly, War Party Paranormal. If you go to warpartyparanormal.com, everything's linked there, the shows, our events. We got actually the Old Navy Schoolhouse for you local people watching, April 21st. You get to join us in an investigation at one of the most haunted locations in Broward County. So come and join us.
And for the people that don't know, the Old Navy Schoolhouse is on the campus. There's actually 2 more historical homes on the campus that we investigate. So there's 3 locations within like walking distance. So like boom, boom, and all 3 of them are active. It's not only the school. So the Veely House and the Walsh House, and both these houses have been they're historic homes that have been saved and moved onto the campus. And I would say sometimes the homes are even more active than the school itself. So, which is neat because you get to walk between the 3 different locations. So it's a banging property. It's really cool. And we set up a couple investigators in each room, and you get to just free roam between the buildings. So it's really a good time. Come on out if you're local, or if not, you're coming down, check us out. All that is on the War Party Paranormal.
March 22nd, Yesteryear Village, the infamous Riddle House. So,
and that same kind of thing there. The Yesteryear
Village.
It's an actual historical village, and there's multiple buildings on the property, and they open up like it fluctuates. It varies on what they open, but we usually have like four or five max, and we'll have them open with investigators in each one, and then you kind of split between the different houses and check all that out. So really good time. It's fun stuff. So come on out and check it out. And if you want to follow any of my personal content, it's easy to find if you go to FLA paranormalresearcher.com. So like FLA, like Florida. So FLA paranormalresearcher.com. And you can check out some of that stuff. And don't forget to follow us and check us out on Paraflix. And the other thing about that too is it's like $3.99 a month. So it's very affordable.
I think there's a free trial going on too.
There's a free trial, I think.
Test it out watching us.
If you use our code, the Haunted Files 25, you get 25% off your annual subscription. So it comes out to like $30 a year. Come on, guys, come check it out. We're working hard for you.
Coming out.
And
we're working on episode 4. It's going to be even better.
Yeah.
So,
you gotta check it out. So appreciate you guys. Appreciate everybody. Appreciate you, Mallory. And if there's anything else that you want to add, feel free.
That's it.
All right, cool.
All right.
Definitely. Yeah. Make sure you check out the book. And that's another show in the books, guys. We thank you and thank all our listeners and viewers. And have a good night. Keep it spooky.